Hey guys, so I'm so excited. It's been forever since I have been live with you guys. It's been crazy life, things get in the way, this whole COVID thing. And I've heard from a couple of you guys that absolutely love to hear my podcast, and that just makes my heart so happy. So I was like, you know what? I need to get back into it. I need to get into doing this every week and just really kind of sharing my heart with you, because that's really what this started as, right? And so I'm really excited. I've actually upped my game a little bit. I have a recording that is going to come, and it's going to be almost like it's professional. So I'm really excited about that. It won't be my voice, it's someone else's voice. So I'm making it fancy for you guys. So today what I want to talk about is this concept that I know that I've been kind of like struggling with, and just really wanting God to use in such a way that brings clarity to you guys. And it's that notion where we live this life and we get in the pattern of just living life day to day and not really getting out of our comfort zone, right? We're in this place where we're complacent. And so I just want to talk with you about that, because I feel like I've been doing that lately. I feel like I've been living just the same old, and not really getting out of my comfort zone. And I think that comes from the fact that being an introvert, I tend to do that a little bit more than other times. And with COVID, if you're listening to this, you know what COVID is. It's the whole virus, it's pandemic thing that's taken over our whole world. And, I tend to kind of shy away from just being in my comfort zone, because that makes us comfortable, right? But God did not call us to be comfortable. If you follow Jesus, if you've read his word, he talks about being brave and being courageous and living on the outside and not being part of the whole crowd, but living apart, being the salt, right? And so I know that my calling is to go against the flow, right? And so being in that is not being complacent with my life, not living in the easy, what everybody else is doing. And I feel like my occupation and the things that I've done, I feel like I'm going against the flow. But sometimes what happens is I get uncomfortable. Maybe I get lazy, to be real. And I just kind of shy away from the things that make me better. And so I want to talk into that. Okay. I want to share my heart with you on this. So just recently I went whitewater rafting, and I got into this awesome tube with 5 other women. And we had a guide with us. And of course, he's 23-year-old. His name was Tyler. And he had actually left, went to Colorado and had left his family basically in another state far away, and decided to live this life of river rafting and also like snowboarding and all the things that come with that kind of life. And it really kind of made me think like, oh my goodness, what if my son was to do that? Like, what would that feel like? And, it kind of gives us like, it's uneasy feeling, because it's like when someone is living the life that's not like everyone else, we tend to go, wow, they're brave. They are risk takers. They are trailblazers. But what I want you to realize is that you can be a trailblazer too. It doesn't have to be this crazy whitewater rafting adventure. It can be as easy as in your own home, doing something fun with your kids, right? Maybe having breakfast for dinner, right? Like it's doing those things that like we kind of take for granted. It's out of the ordinary things that we can do on a daily basis. And so I really want you guys to understand that when I got on this raft, I've always wanted a whitewater raft, and it kind of made me think like, oh my goodness, like I'm getting out of my comfort zone. I'm doing something I've never done, and I'm trusting this 23-year-old to guide us in the right direction. And it made me think when we were on the water, it was about a 9-mile track. And it made me think like, okay, so we're going down this river and it's all, some of it's calm, right? And it's like, wow, like this is calm. It's nice. You don't really have to paddle much. There's not much direction. Like we're just following the flow and we're going with it. And it made me think of, that's what we do in our life. Everyone around us is in the calm water. We're just following along, doing what we're supposed to do, getting that 9-to-5 job, going to college, getting an education, living the life, having a couple kids. You know what I'm saying? Like it's what everybody does. But then there's a rapid. Right? There's these rapids that come and it's the disruption of the river where it gets crazy and we don't know what's going to happen. And I truly believe that is where growth happens. It's in the rapids. It's in the unknown what life takes us to help us understand that we don't have it. We shouldn't have it all together, that God is going to use those rapids to teach us that we need to trust him. So in that moment, when we're in the rapids, it's not so much we're trusting the water, we're trusting our guide. And during those times where God is calling you out of the calm and the narrow and the happy, right? The peaceful, what everybody else has done. And he's calling you over here where it's crazy and it's unknown and it's scary and there's fear. That's where God works. He uses he uses himself to guide us in that place. And it helps us grow and become better and helps us to create this life where it's like, you know what? I'm not going to so much rely on the normal. I'm going to trust him with this. Wherever you lead me, God, take me there because you are there beside me. Because in your word, it says, do not fear. It says, do not fear, but be brave and courageous because I am your God. And I am beside you, and I will not leave you or forsake you in those times of the crazy. And so I want to challenge you that wherever you are in this life that you're living, as a mom, as a student, as a daughter, that you realize that God wants to call you out of the ordinary into the extraordinary. He wants to call you out of the calm water into the raging water where there's rapids and you have no idea what's going to happen. Those are the times that we grow. And God uses those times to create in us a desire to know him even more. So wherever you are, when it comes to business and being an entrepreneur in your business, you're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. You're going to have exit strategies and you're going to have times where you need to stay the course. But wherever you are, wherever God leads you, I want you to understand this, that he did not give you a spirit of fear, but he gave you a spirit of power. And he gives you a spirit of peace, and he gives you a spirit of grace, and he speaks over you and says, daughter, you are called for this. I will be with you. No matter what happens, no matter how the water rages, I will be with you. I will guide you, and I will not let you live just a calm and placid and what everybody else is doing life. So I challenge you not to live that life, but to live over here where God says, hey, the enemy is raging. He's a roaring lion. He will steal, kill, and destroy what is good. What God has placed before you, he will steal. But what God has given you is he's given you a life, and a life to live to the fullest. And so that's where you need to live. Is there. And it's a challenge, believe me. You have to surround yourself with other women that want to live the same way. And that is something that I am finding, is that I want to live in a way that I surround myself with other risk takers, with other trailblazers, with others that want to do the venture of life, whatever that looks like. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Hopefully this spoke into you. And I just pray that as you listen to these words, something is sparking in you to challenge you to live the boldest and bravest and courageous life, because that's where God calls us into. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for listening to me. Thanks so much for listening to me ramble, because that definitely could be done. And I just love you guys so much. And if this spoke to you, I just pray that you would send this to someone that needs to hear this. Okay? And I'm praying for you. And I am definitely wanting to speak more into your life with this podcast. And I just know God is leading me to that. So thanks for listening today. Have a blessed and fantastic day. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.